The Vivanco name isn't just history. It's generations of agave carved into every drop. Viva Mexico is rebellion poured neat, and with a Tahona wheel crushing agave once again, Cesar Vivanco is proving that legacy can still lead tequila's future. On this episode of Tactical Tequila Podcast with your host, Matt Wilson. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it to your social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone. Matt with Tactical Tequila Podcast. And tonight on our show, we have an amazing guest who probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him an intro anyway. Welcome to the show, Cesar Vivanco. Some families build businesses. The Vivanco family built a legacy carved out of volcanic soil, sweat, and stubborn tradition. For over a century, their distillery has fought to keep tequila honest, while the world around them traded heritage for hype. Viva Mexico isn't just another bottle on the shelf. It's a statement, a rebellion, and a call back to the roots. And now, with the thunder of a newly added Tahona wheel, they're rewriting their own future, one crushed agave at a time. Tonight, Cesar Vivanco steps into the hot seat to talk legacy, rebellion, and where Viva Mexico is taking the next fight. Cesar, welcome to the show. I appreciate your time, and I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. And I mean, that was a great introduction about Vivanco family and what we do in 1414. So I think this is going to be really interesting. But thank you so much for inviting me.
I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. We've seen each other a few times at different events, and I can tell you that, you know, it's never a dull moment. I enjoy hanging out with you, and I enjoy listening and, you know, hearing you talk about tequila and, of course, you know, sipping the great juice from NAM 1414.
Well, that's something that we both enjoyed, like sipping 1414 and then sharing great moments around tequila. Salud.
Yes, very much so. So I just kind of want to get into things. What's the boldest decision your family has made in tequila history that almost risked it all, but sort of defined where you guys are at today?
Well, I'm going to say that maybe it's not the boldest decision, but at the beginning, when my grandfather and my family founded 1414, which the house brand was Viva Mexico. Back in the days, my grandfather didn't want to produce any private labels. He wanted to 1414 just be for Viva Mexico. But you know, it's not easy and it costs money, you know, to pay for a full distillery just with one brand that once you are starting. So he had to go against his ego and said, you know, we have to create great tequilas for other people. And I think going against his own will to make other brands was a huge step to make 1414 what is it today, because it's because of other brands or other people's ideas that 1414 start expanding the way to produce tequila and create and innovate in different profiles. So I think that's the main thing that makes 1414 what it is today.
And so when outsiders look in and they romanticize about tradition, what do they often get wrong about the real grind of running a distillery like 1414?
Well, the tradition can go in many ways. But if you stick to tradition tequila as it's supposed to be, like, and don't change the method, then well, you know what we do in 1414, and we start innovating and create different things to create unique profiles, but keep doing things in the right way. You know, it's within the tradition, not doing something out of the law, not doing something that is totally industrial. You know, we like to keep that going. So I think it's part of the spirit. It's not out of the tradition, and at the same time, people or tequila aficionados or customers of tequila, they like to try new things, right? And they are willing to explore. And I think that's one of the main things that 1414 and the Vivanco Distillery does. Uh, we believe that we can create many different profiles and do different things and keep it real, keeping being an authentic tequila. So I think for me that's more than the traditional method that you many people will look for, is just to keep it real and keep it honest.
And talking about your family and the history, if you dug into the archives of the Vivanco family, what's one story that would explain the philosophy of what you guys do today?
I think I would like to say it in two ways. The first one is what my grandfather philosophy was, and we still do. Um, the first part of it is he wanted to create like an authentic tequila, and knowing what's inside, he said, okay, I won't put anything in it that I know is going to harm my body because I will drink it in the end. So that's the first philosophy, that to keep it honest and to keep it real. And but uh, part of the philosophy right now is I'm gonna involve Sergio Cruz in this, because he's a mastermind behind many of the things that come from Team 14, and he's like, okay, uh, we can do this and we can do better and we could create different things. So I think that that explains a lot of what's behind 1414, is like to keep it real and keep the passion from the beginning, but at the same time keep pushing in innovating and creating new teams. And when some distilleries said, you have to keep it for just one, two, three profiles, we at 1414 say, why not? It's a challenge to create and innovate. So I think it's a balance between these two like parts.
Kind of leading into my next question, several generations in the Vivanco family have guarded the process. What's one tradition that you refuse to modernize, and no matter what the pressure of the industry, of the consumer, what's one thing, one tradition that you refuse to modernize?
Well, at this point, I will say that first of all, never say never. But one thing that that I think right now in my position today is, I like, for example, getting a diffuser into the distillery. I think is not something that if we want to grow, we can grow in different ways, but not becoming like industrial. So I think that's one of the things that to keep it authentic and to keep it real, you have to take the time to create every one of the steps into the tequila, to be honest and be real. So I think that's one of the things that I wouldn't like to get into Vivanco's distillery.
Was there ever a moment that the Vivanco name almost disappeared from tequila?
Mm, well, not a moment in a specific time that I remember, because I've been involved since they built the distillery, but it's been difficult. It's been difficult because, for example, many people know that the agave, for example, crisis just recently happened, but there was a time like 10 years ago that it happened again, and it's been like these crisis moments in the industry that being a small company, family owned, that put you like in the trigger. Okay, so we keep it running and maybe make one production a year just to keep the CRT validation to produce tequila. I think that is the most complicated time when you are a small company, new, and there are no sales, and there's no much focusing in your product or your company. So it's complicated to keep it running in hard economic times. I think that will be it.
Okay. And talking about Viva Mexico, what is the rebellion against the current tequila market when it comes to Viva Mexico?
Viva Mexico is uh okay for me. The market right now is huge, and it goes in many different ways and many different profiles, and there's a pilot for every profile. But I think Viva Mexico, more than a profile, and you've been to the distillery and people have been to the distillery, is about celebrate Mexico and celebrate Mexican tradition, which is the tequila, the food, the culture, the love, and it's something that we love to share with everyone. The passion that we put in the products. So I think uh against the current market, it's again to keep it real, to okay, what we can do is achieve different profiles, and to maybe you will like it one profile and another person will like another profile. So we try to achieve different and authentic products to be out there, and for people to try it and feel pleased about tequila.
Talking about authenticity and keeping it real, if Viva Mexico could speak as a person, what kind of voice and attitude or presence would it have?
I think Viva Mexico will be a Mexican charro. With this like deep voice, and he sings like mariachi songs because it's part of it. Viva Mexico again is a celebration. It's to celebrate Mexican culture, Mexican folklore. So yes, for me, uh, Viva Mexico, I tend to be like a male figure, and it will be a charro, and who likes yes to drink, to have fun with friends, to be familiar and expand like his traditions with family, friends. It's for me that will be the person of Viva Mexico.
So, in still touching on authenticity, how do you balance the gritty authenticity of Viva Mexico with the polished expectations of global consumers?
Well, I think both of them evolve in time. When we started, the global expectation, it wasn't the same that it was today. So right now, people are willing to try new expressions of tequila. It's different back in the days. Back in the days, you want to create a strong tequila just to hit in a party, and now people want to try like more polished tequilas, and maybe you can use it for mixology or made pairing or things like this. It's evolving. So I think you can keep the authenticity as long as you keep it real and you've been honest with the product and what you share. But at the same time, the people's mind changes, and you have to also keep evolving. That's what 1414 does. You cannot stick to the same rule for a long period of time if you want to be there in people's mind, and for people to remember what you do. So I think both change in time, and both can go in the same way, just keeping it real.
What's the single biggest misconception that people have about the brand Viva Mexico?
I'm not sure about that one, but I think many people think that Viva Mexico, for example, there's many people that know brands from 1414, and they are great brands, and they say, okay, these brands are here. But once they try Viva Mexico, they said, oh my God, Viva Mexico is better than I thought, because they didn't get the chance to know Viva Mexico like before. And I have to thank like all the brands that are in 1414 that has opened the doors for Viva Mexico, and the other brands are there. But it gives us a chance for people to try Viva Mexico. And once they try it, they say, this is better than I expected. So I think it's that they say like, okay, Viva Mexico, maybe they used to think like it was an average tequila coming from 1414, but once they try it, they say, oh my God, this is also good tequila.
Well, and I could tell you my first time to the distillery, and it's been my only time as of right now, but definitely a plan in the future, the beginning of next year. I'm definitely going to come see you. During the first trip, that is what we tried. We tried Viva Mexico for the tasting, and I was completely blown away with how Juan Carlos did our tour. He says, "Excuse my English," but he's in the process of learning and doing his thing. And he was a great tour guide. But honestly, like that was the first time I had ever had Viva Mexico, and I fell in love with it. It was phenomenal. But a lot of that also attributes to the experience that you have when tasting these tequilas. Is the experience that you go through, and that I think that helps the consumer, and I think that helps the aficionados not experience, but appreciate the brand even more once they know the story, and once they get a deeper meaning behind how the process is made, the quality of it, I think that's all great things that help the novice tequila consumer start to make wiser choices when it comes to tequilas.
Yes, I think that's it. And I'm glad your first visit at 1414 was a great experience in Viva Mexico. And I think that's really important because for us, uh, the best way to share what we do with passion is to come to the distillery and know the process. And you're not gonna maybe let me lie. When you go there, we can share with passion what we do. And we share like, okay, this is Viva Mexico, but we have Viva Mexico, this presentation, and this is the new coming. So I think that's the best way to discover the authenticity or the family values that we put to the tequila and the family effort that is there, and that's the way we want to keep it is to visit the distillery and have the time to be there. And part of our philosophy is like, okay, if you take the time to visit Viva Mexico, then we will do our best effort for you to enjoy it and to like it. Because for us, it's an honor when people come and visit us, because you take the time to be there. So it's like something that we really do with pride, and we like to share it. And that's the best way to do it. And we get drunk with everyone, and we have always a great time.
I mean, that's not a bad thing, especially when you get to drink your own juice, and it's amazing. Everything
Yes.
uh, that I have had out of NOM 1414 has been phenomenal. You guys do it great. Everything that I've seen produced out of this distillery has been phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep it that way.
So, if you were to strip all the labels off of Viva Mexico, how would you make someone recognize the brand just by taste?
Just by taste. Okay, so one of the characteristics that I personally love about Viva Mexico is once you try it, of course you can feel the alcohol in the mouth, and you can have a little the spicy bites and a little sweetness and a little citrus. I think that the citrus and the spice is part of the essential of Viva Mexico. But then going down to the throat is really gentle. So that's one of the characteristics that you may feel in the mouth and you will say, oh, okay, it's tequila. So it has its own personality, but going down is really gentle. It's really balanced, and what you get into the nose comes to the mouth. So, but I think that for me, that's the main thing that keeps Viva Mexico the way it is.
Okay. So, you guys have added a Tahona wheel in recently within the last year. And adding this Tahona wheel is a serious statement. What was it about the tradition and innovation, or was it just sending a message to the industry that Viva Mexico is back?
I I think it's all of them, and let me explain myself why I think it is that way. Because in the general industry, it's not an innovation because it's been used for a long time, but it was an innovation for 1414, because as you know we started doing like extraction in Romeo. So now getting the town out was an innovation for us, and then but going back to traditional ways to explore different profiles. And at the same time, it was a way to send the message to the industry, because uh, there were many people comment or saying things around like 1414 and Viva Mexico, they are creating so many profiles. And it's like, okay, uh, how is it possible that they create this amount of profiles and use no additives, use nothing like chemical on them to make like dif- differentiation in the profiles. So uh, uh, this is one of the parts when 1414 and Sergio Cruz was like, okay, I'm going to prove you that we can do so much more. So instead of sticking to the rule and do one method, okay, let's have different things. Like made a Tahona, and with the Tahona, we can create different profiles, more profiles, so we can show people in the industry that you can do so many things, you can achieve so many things during the process of producing tequila, that you can achieve all the many different profiles, and it's possible doing it the right way. So I think It's the three of them. It's going back to a tradition, an innovation for our company, and making a statement to the industry that you can create great things doing the things in the right way.
So in creating those things and, adding the Tahona, how does that change not just the flavor, but the soul of the tequila that you're producing?
It changed in so many ways. I mean, uh, okay, before the Tahona, I never thought that we will be able to create this kind of profiles. And I mean, you've tried Tahona, and it's incredible. And getting there wasn't easy because we were using the Tahona for the first time. So the first run of the Tahona wasn't the best. So we take time to get to the right profile of Tahona. But I think it changes the rules in Viva Mexico because it expands the possibilities, and it's it gives us another push as company, and the perception of people about 1414, about Viva Mexico. I think it creates a huge opportunity for us, and to create great profiles. Then we are just starting with it, so it's exciting all the way that we can go through with the profiles that we can make.
And with Sergio Cruz as master distiller, the possibilities are endless. He is a mad scientist when it comes to making tequila. And in talking about the Tahona, what's the first batch off of the Tahona here that made you stop and say, this is different and it is extremely special?
Well, the first batch is the one that you have. Well, not the first batch. The first batch approved is the one that you have there in your hands. And I'm gonna share this again. We were using Tahona for the first time. So the first batch, to be honest, we didn't know like how the bed of the fiber has to be, that to make it good. If it was too thin, then at the beginning it was too mineral because of the town stone. So we had to try it in practice, and do it in a different way. So the first like mini batches that we created, they weren't like that good because it's like driving a car. The first time you're not a master, you have to learn and make mistakes, and it was complicated to get and achieve that profile that you are trying. But once we tried it, was Tahona fermented in wood fermentation tank with fibers. And at 48, as it came, we tried and we said, wow, this is an expression that with the regular process that we had in Viva Mexico couldn't be possible, because the town adds so much, and it distracts so much from the fiber, and having the wood fermentation tanks made such a difference. So that one we felt really proud, and again, it was like we were like blindfolded in this area of town, and once we tried this, like poof, it opened a door, and it opened such an amazing way to see it, and to know we can do so much more with it.
And, I'm excited to see not only the multitude of brands that you have produced out of 1414, but, I'm excited to see each one of those brands because they're all quality made brands. I'm
Yes,
excited to see each of those brands either try to add the Tahona to it to create a new flavor profile, or even just to see where Viva Mexico goes. I'm excited for what the future holds for you guys.
me too, definitely. It's challenging, but it's exciting, and it's exciting how many people has taken like 1414 and Tahona, and all these new products that are coming that with excitement. So if people is happy and grab it like with excitement, then we are so blessed and happy.
So my question to you now is, now that you have the Tahona wheel and you have the Tahona as a symbol on the bottle of the Tahona Blanco, what would it represent to drinkers of tequila now?
I Okay, in my opinion, I think it represents the next steps for Viva Mexico, because for many years Viva Mexico was like a base like brand for 1414. It was a home brand, of course, but all the innovation came for the private labels, like let's do this, let's do high proof, let's do different. But Viva Mexico was like in this line, not moving, not creating new profiles, not doing anything new. And of course, once we get the Tahona, many brands, they say like, we want to be like the first Tahona from 1414, and we said, hold your horses, we love that and we will do it, but we have to give this to Viva Mexico to be the first, because now we have to give the credit to Viva Mexico of all the things that are happening and all the things that are coming. So we take our time to dedicate to Viva Mexico and say, it's a symbol for people that like 1414, for people that like tequila, that this innovation is coming within the house brand. And for me, that represents a lot, because of course it's going to be able for other brands that we do at distillery, of course, but the first one, we want to give credit for Viva Mexico, because we've been there for a long time. And I think for us it takes time, and the representation it needs it has to be with Viva Mexico in this new process, that changing and adding process to the distillery.
And so, with now having the Tahona in place and creating batches, not only for Viva Mexico, but for brands in the near future, how will you protect the artisanal nature of the Tahona production while trying to scale and grow?
Put in 100 tonnes. No, I mean, I think the market for Tahona, it's can be a good one, and then it will grow in time. And but to keep it special, it has to be like limited editions. What we can do, I think, and the philosophy of 1414 and Viva Mexico, is not grow to an industrial process. It's just the town is just a new step. So if it keep growing, right now we have capacity like to grow the use of the Tahona, how it is. But our intention is not like to create massive production of Tahona. The main thing is to play within the process to create different profiles, so we can blend raw milk with Tahona, and then the fermentation, different types of tanks, yeast, and everything. So I think that's gonna be the way to keep it like real, simple. Um, I hope it grows, because it's gonna be good. But keep within the capacity that we have, and to keep it real, and to keep falling in love of what Viva Mexico and 1414 represents. Not grow a lot and make a lot of money. Of course, I would love to make a lot of money and be traveling all around, But at the same time, I think the passion that my grandfather had to make this and create quality tequilas, then my father, my uncle Sergio Cruz, myself, and the family that is involved, I think it's that's really important too, and to keep it real, honest. It's better to grow step by step, and do it consciously, that grow like fast, like crazy, and have it out of control and change the profile, and then people uh, wouldn't look at Viva Mexico in 1414 the way that I'm doing it now. And it takes a long time for people to look at you and say, okay, this is a great tequila, because we've been there like for 31 years, and there are companies that have been longer time there, and we are winning a piece of the cake, where people recognize that you are doing a great job. So I think that takes a lot of time just to throw it away, creating like volume instead of quality. So I think the right way is to keep it in quality.
Okay. And so, talking about where you've been, where you're at now, what do you see in the next decade for the brand Viva Mexico?
Many changes, evolution. I think right now the mentality of 1414 is to there are some changes coming, and but we want to focus and expand uh Viva Mexico, and the different slides that Viva Mexico has. And of course we are open to explore of creating things, and creating profiles. So consolidate like a company, like a company that keeps growing, how it has been growing and evolving in a profiling process, like with, again, keeping it real and authentic.
And so, do you see Viva Mexico becoming a heritage brand? Honestly, it already kind of is a heritage brand, starting with your grandfather, but moving forward beyond you, beyond Sergio Vivanco, like your whole family, do you foresee it becoming the heritage brand, like remembered a century from now?
Mm, I would love to. I would love to, and uh, I think that's one of the things that we want to keep as a legacy, because is still a family owned company, and we want to be remembered, of course, of one of those strong brands that it stays there, to be pure, to be honest, to be in people's lives. And I mean, maybe we are doing things right now that people didn't expect, like all these crazy things that Sergio Cruz thinks that we could do at the distillery, and we do it. And the philosophy right now, there's no mistakes, there's just new profiles. And but I think in the long way, of course, I would like to Viva Mexico be remembered as a heritage brand, and be there as a solid brand in the market.
Now, I have to ask you, celebrity brands are, I feel like they hurt the tequila industry, but I also I've had guests on recently that say that they also help the tequila industry, which I can see both sides. I can see the
Yeah.
devil's advocate side of things, and I want to know, how do you keep Viva Mexico untouchable in a market flooded with celebrity brands?
Hmm. I have to say, we have our own celebrity. We have Sergio Cruz.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, and I understand the point that there's like when people say, the celebrity tequilas, is not good for the industry, but at the same time, they have helped like the market to look at tequila, so there's a good opportunity that for people to approach tequila with the celebrities. But again, this is my perception. Being a celebrity tequila can be just like for a moment, and as long as the celebrity is behind the brand, you know. But creating a brand, creating this heritage that we were talking about, is not just a brand. It's a legacy. It's a legacy that I have the opportunity to be part of. Being in the Vivanco, I think I'm blessed because I was born in an agave uh, farmers family, and then to create a tequila company. For me, that is more unique, more authentic, and if it keeps that way, it keeps the company to be longer than just a celebrity brand that can be really successful. Yes, but I think it will last as long as the celebrity is behind the brand, because it doesn't have like all this background of a real authentic like tequila company or tradition. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and so I recently had a guest on who had said that basically celebrity tequilas are like a gateway tequila, because there are people who follow the celebrities that don't really enjoy tequila or haven't tried tequila enough,
Yeah.
and then they go out and try it because their favorite celebrity has a tequila. Then it gets them more or less, for lack of better words, hooked on tequila, and then they start trying other tequilas after that, and then they realize that, oh, maybe those aren't such great tequilas once
Yeah.
they've had quality made tequilas.
Yes, I think it helps, to be honest. Uh for me, there's a misconception that okay, we can go to the purest side of the tequila and say, like the celebrity tequilas are not the best that are out there. But as long as they got like people attention to tequila, maybe they weren't tequila drinkers, and because of a celebrity, they look onto the tequila market, and now they try their tequila and they say, okay, this is good. Maybe they start trying another brands, and they start getting involved into what tequila is. So maybe because of a celebrity, they get in touch of the world of tequila, and from there, then go and try different profiles from our brand, or different noms that are like more authentic, and then they open the door. For me, they open a door for people to approach and get into the tequila.
I honestly, like, my eyes have been open more because I started out on Terramana,
Uh-huh.
which is, the Rocks brand of tequila. And, this was shortly after I quit drinking beer and I went to tequila. So I started that. And then I started following more tequila aficionados, and I started following tequila influencers, and I started trying those brands that saying are artisanally made and additive free. And once I started going to those, I was like, oh my God, like, I just went down this rabbit hole of tequila experience, and then went on my first trip to Tequila Mexico, and was blown away by the distilleries that I visited. Last year was 5 trips to Mexico doing, tastings at different distilleries. So to go into my next question, what's the boldest experiment that you're considering for future expressions that nobody expects?
If I tell you that, I have to kill you.
I love it. I love it.
No, I mean, there are many things coming. One of the things that we have talked about, and many people knows about, is we want to make a pit at the distillery, so we can cook in a pit to create, like, again, have variety in the process. And that's one we have talked about, and I can share here that something that we want to do. Besides that, there are many things that we've been talking with Sergio Cruz in questions of fermentation, distillation, and for us, it's right now it's like a playground. We like to experiment and see how things can come with new ideas, crazy ideas, and getting new things. But I think that's one we can share, because as you've been the distillery, we want to make like this part of the distillery, and we now have these smaller copper pots to distill. Then they are going to be put next to the wood fermentation types, like to have like smaller batches and smaller distillation with the pit. So it's going to be like an ancestral way to produce the tequila in one side of the distillery. And again, from there, create any combination possible between mixing processes from one to the other.
Okay. And if you could rewrite one tequila industry rule today with Viva Mexico as the front runner, what would it be?
Not sure. Not sure what I would rewrite. Uh, well, I have to say that I love tequila when it comes at the first, the second distillation, but after the heads, and it's like 65 or 70%. Maybe what I would like to have is like to be possible to bottle like as if 65% or 70% like product, which is going to be really intense, really different. But once you try it there at the distillery, I mean, for me, it's I don't know, it's amazing. That will that's one of the things that I would change. Like to increase the alcohol percentage that you can bottle a product.
I'm a huge fan for that, by the way. Loving high proofs and still strengths, everything coming off the still, like, I love. I have family that's in moonshine. And then my background as far as like the spirits industry, I was a home brewer for many years. So
Oh, really? You knew that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I actually won a silver medal for a local competition here in Nevada for one of my Pilsners.
Oh, do you still do that?
I don't. So once I became allergic to wheat, I switched over to tequila and gave up my home brewing credentials, if you will.
Well, then you're welcome to try tequila from the still.
When I did the tour with Juan Carlos, we got to sample Viva Mexico coming off the still, and I was just like, "This is great! Like, I love it. It's one of my favorite things." And I always tell people that if you like the Blanco, or you like the high proof, or you like the still strength coming off of the still,
Yeah.
you're going to like almost every other expression that comes out of that brand.
Yes, I believe that's right. Because the Blanco is the purest expression, and if it's good, then it will only evolve like for better things if you put it in the barrel. So I think if you have a good Blanco, then there's no mistake where you go. But again, trying it like higher proof direct from the steel has this like kind of magic that that I love. That I love. That for me, it's incredible to be there and work there. And when I so when I was a teenager, I used to work at the distillery. Like I started working at the distillery like the weekends with my father, and uh, there was this summer time which I wasn't attending school, so I started working at the distillery, and I had the night shift at distillation. So one of my favorite thing is to prepare canelitas, which is like a kind of tea, but I used to put like tequila from the still, and it was great. So I have a special appreciation for that because I've been there like working it and do it, and it keep me up all night to keep it like distilling. So it's a
Well,
special for
when I visit the distillery, I hope that you actually give me some of this because I want to sample it.
yes, of course.
What would you say is the hardest part about putting your family name on every single bottle?
Mm, responsibility. I think for me it's a responsibility too because the Vivanco name now has like even if it's a small place into the tequila industry, but it's recognized as products that are well done. So being a third generation, it's a responsibility to keep it that way because it's been such a long way to get there, and for a full decision or trying to make more money or whatever, uh, trouble or part. So I think having the family name on the label is a responsibility, but I love it. At the same time, it's exciting to see it there.
If a consumer were to criticize Viva Mexico, what would you want them to understand about it before judging it?
Well, I will say that all the consumers are open to criticize any tequila, Viva Mexico, of course, because there are so many different expressions, and Viva Mexico may be good for some people, may be great for other people, they don't like it. But I think what can change people's mind is like you said, and what I like to say is like come to the distillery and visit the experience of what Viva Mexico sold you. You can try it, but and that's what we try to do to people to feel this passion and what is behind the drink. It's not just the drink; it's everything that is behind. It's the people that make it. It's the passion. It's the family. It's the tradition. Uh, so. Yes, you can try it. You may not like it, and it's okay. It's okay. It's different tastes, different palates, and but um, what I would like to do is invite people to know it like from the roots, and to get it that way. And even if you don't like it, now you understand what Viva Mexico is from the root, from the beginning.
So, outside of the distillery, what personal moment for you has most influenced the way that you make tequila?
Okay, many, but I cannot have one right now in mind. Outside of distillery will be uh what my father taught me, like to put passion in what you do and to pay attention to details. And because in the end, you have to represent something that you feel proud of. and so you have to go to the root, and you have to know what you do, and you have to know how it's done, because you can have like the best selling product, but if you don't feel it like part of yours, and you don't feel proud of it, then I think it's not the same. So I think that influence from my father to keep it real, and to be proud of what you do. And if you don't like it, then don't be here. You have to love it, and you have to be here to represent what tequila really is, and to honor what your family has been doing. So I think that influenced me a lot to be proud of the family that I was born in, and what I do right now, and what I love to share, like with friends, family, and everyone in the road.
When you walk the agave fields at sunrise just to either do a mental cleanse or check on things, what is the one truth about it that hits you the most?
Okay, one question for you: have you ever been in an agave field when in the sunrise?
I have never been there at sunrise.
Okay, next time when you come in February, I think January, February,
Yes.
we'll do that. And
Okay.
it's a great experience because you get to the field before the sunrise, and all your senses get involved because it's dark. So the vision start changing when the sunrise starts going out. Then it starts getting colder, so you feel it in your skin. Then you get all the aromas and all the noises that are happening around. So it's I think, and you will let me know once you experience it. It's a moment when you understand what the agave has been through for like 7 years before its harvest. And for me, that's a unique experience that once you had the opportunity to be there and experience, it can blow your mind because it's a unique moment. And then when they start harvesting, and then you see the lights on people's head and going to the agave piñas and start harvesting, and the aroma that you get there and the sound that you get there is like a unique, amazing experience that you say, okay, you think this is the beginning, but no, it's halfway there because the agave already takes so much time to get to that point that is like you appreciate what is happening right now, and it's the process will continue, but it's such an amazing sensorial experience because it involves a lot. It involves a lot, what you see, what you hear, what you feel. It's amazing.
Talking about how you feel in that aspect, but also mentally, how do you handle the weight of representing a brand that carries both history and future expectation?
I drink every day.
Salud.
Salud. No, you know, it's it's really interesting to be in a tequila family, and to know that it's a legacy that uh, in my position I wanted to continue, and being there as a third generation, of course, is pressure, and it's like a way to represent what Vivanco family means, and it's the pressure from the point of view where we are right now, that the customer and the tequila connoisseurs, like, they know 1414 makes quality products. uh the pressure of like the family point of view, like to keep the family tradition, the legacy that our grandfather had the idea to start, and my father and my uncles, they keep doing it. So it is hard, but at the same time, it's a challenge, and it's a joy. It's a joy because, like I said, I've been blessed to be born there, and I saw it since they built the distillery and every step. So for me, it's like not a natural thing, but I like I saw it bloom from nothing. So it's like something that I love and appreciate a lot, and I love it, and I love that challenge to be part of it, and to push it, like to start like growing and innovating in the way we can, and learning from the people that comes to the distillery and like handle new things and get to new approaches. So I think the best way to handle it is to embrace and to know what you have, what's your legacy, and if you get to a point that when you can add something from your legacy and someone else will do it in the future, then I think you're going in my point of view, I'm doing it in the right way, because it's to keep growing and to keep evolving and keep it real in the end, you know? And yes, drinking tequila along the way makes it much easier.
Right? I can only imagine. Definitely in my position here, like drinking
Yeah.
tequila makes it more easier.
Yes, it helps. There's a saying that says like that I love it, and we use it in Viva Mexico. It says like you didn't need shoes to run, but it fucking helps. It's the same with tequila. You don't need tequila to have fun, but it fucking helps.
I have a T-shirt that actually says "Tequila helps," so
Mhm.
it's gotta be it's gotta be true. It's gotta be true.
Yes, definitely.
If Viva Mexico were a weapon, what would it be and why?
A resortera. Do you know what a resortera is?
I don't.
No, it's not a resortera. This is a joke. The resortera is like okay, we used to play with like a kids with this. That is like a white thing, and you pull it, and it's a like a resorter liga, and you throw things. But I think it will be, yeah, kind of. But I think it will be, for me. Viva Mexico is again tradition, and Mexican tradition is also about the revolution. And then when come back to revolution, it has to be like a revolver. My father used to have revolvers in the house. It's like the one that has a ring goes around,
Mhm.
and I think that will be Viva Mexico, because it's part of history, and Viva Mexico, is like uh. So Mexican Independence Day is September 15th. So everyone says Viva Mexico, and they scream Viva Mexico, and that for me it's like great. And being a weapon is like the weapon they used to use. So it's like it will be for me a revolver.
Okay. So talking about like the outlaw stuff and revolvers and what Viva Mexico represents as a weapon, what's the most outlaw thing that you've ever done for tequila making?
I can say that. No, uh, no,
I respect it.
no, no. I think, well, I can share something that it happened and it's part of the family history, and it's part of Viva Mexico history. You know, we made a brand that is Tequila Honor, that is, and it's like kind of a celebrity brand that represents, like Kate del Castillo. She is like this Mexican actress, and so she got involved with an interview to the Chapo, which is a drug lord. So back in the day when she did that, uh the media, they start saying like, okay, uh the Chapo is giving her money for her tequila, and we make the tequila. So Mexican police just come right away to the distillery, and they said, you stop, because we have to investigate your company to know if it's not made with cartel money. And we're like, whoa, where did it come from? Like nothing official? No, but it's in the gossip. It's in the news. It's everywhere. So we have to investigate like your company. So they decide right away, like, I mean, who the company belongs to, and the contract like we have with this brand. And they decide right away that it was everything clear, that it was not this guy money involved in the company. So I think that's the most outlaw thing that has happened to the company. That it was frightening at the beginning, because the police survived like without notice, and saying, your company is like supported with cartel money. We said no, you have to prove that it's not that. But I think it was a part of the experience that makes us who we are today. But in the end, if you do the things right, they can say like everything or anything, And but we had everything in the right place in the right moment, and everything was fine. So, but it was a
Well,
crazy experience.
I can only imagine, and like you said, being having everything in line and
Yeah,
from the get-go, like, no, this is where the payment came from, this and this, along the lines of, hey, like, we're legit, like,
yeah,
we
we're
don't know,
legit.
we don't know about this, like, it's, I
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
get.
Legit. And my father, he's the legal representative of the company. So he was like, okay, if they take me to jail, then you'll bring me tequila or whatever to jail. But he was joking. He was like, everything's gonna be fine. But yeah, it was such an experience. But yeah, being legit, like we show everything, and they spend like 3 days at the distillery, like investigating. But then we were fine.
Oh, wow. You personally, would you rather create a perfect tequila that only few will ever enjoy? Or would you rather create a great tequila for millions to joy?
Ay, ay, ay. Uh, I can be both.
I, it's your answer. Like you could choose either one.
I mean, I think that the perfect tequila already exists and is the tequila that you like or anyone likes. Uh, but I tequila changes and people taste changes. So I will go to the perfect tequila than some people will taste. And for example, some people will love it will say like it can be like Viva Mexico today is a perfect tequila. They will love it today. But tomorrow there will be another expression that they will love and they will move. So it will keep us evolving and creating new profile that is what we do today. So I think I will go to create tequila only a few uh, will taste. But in time you have to change and you have to evolve and maybe it will bring another people down to tequila.
Talking about flavors and different profiles, what flavor would you risk your reputation on and defend to the end of Viva Mexico?
Any. No, I think so. So part of the magic of Vina 1414 is the citrus trees not around. So the citrus part, and you will always get in one product that Viva Mexico has coming for 1414. I think that would be it because we receive like people in the distillery that they want to learn about tequila, and it can be connoisseurs like you or many people that go there and are interested in the process. And there are many people that they are new to tequila and they are the ones that say, in the blanco, come on, it's not possible like to have these aromas because you have to add something. And then they said, come on, no, this is real. And or for the reposado, there's many people that they say, your reposado, come on, you put vanilla in this, and you have to explain that the work that the tequila does interacting with the barrel, and then they get it. So I think in the blanco, I would go for the citrus reposado for the vanilla because many people don't understand how tequila is and how tequila works, and but once you explain, then they get it. They get it, and that's the things that I will risk my reputation to prove and tell people that this is honest and it's true and it's real. It's real because tequila is really complex that you have to understand it to get to the point that it's okay, you get it, it's real.
So, in talking about how complex tequila is, if the tequila industry collapsed tomorrow, what's one piece of Vivanco legacy that you would want to save first?
Mm, I would say the soul of Vivanco family and 1414 is this family feeling that everyone has been at 1414. I think that's the thing that I will rescue because it's not just my family, it's just the people that work there and put their soul and they love the product and they love to represent it, and it's everyone that visits the distillery and they feel at home once they have the full experience and been there. I think that's the most unique part, because tequila can be created in many different companies and different processes, and but I think the soul and the family passion that we put there and we share, and uh, I think we are good at it, the sharing, and people to feel that is their home. I think that's something that I will never change, and I will love to people keep coming and feeling that way, and understand tequila like that is something that we share as family, and I think that's the thing I will save.
That's probably one of the best answers that I could ever experience with a question like that. Cesar, I appreciate your time so much. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Okay, in social media, I am as Cesar, the lower line Vivanco, and Viva Mexico. They can follow it at Viva Mexico Tequila.
Okay. And of course, NAM 1414.
Yes, it's non 1414 on
Awesome.
Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Everyone, thank you for joining in and have a good night.
Thank you so much for the invitation and for sharing the passion for tequila. And Viva Mexico is your house. And everyone's, you're welcome to experience Viva Mexico anytime you want. Thank you so much.
Anytime you ever go to Mexico, always go to 1414. You will not be disappointed. Have a good night, everyone.
Night.